What's up, Space Pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster. And it might be a bit of a character defect for me, but I just can't help myself. I absolutely love to engage in schadenfreude. When someone that I oppose is down and out, I love to point at them and laugh at their misfortune. And that is what we've got going on here with Dragon Age the Veilguard right now. The fact that Bioware just announced they aren't going to be putting out any DLC for the game, despite the studio's long and storied history with making good DLC, that was a pretty strong clue that sales numbers are not very good for this wet fart of a game. After all, if the game was selling well, you just know that a company like EA would soak this title for all it's worth. We could see that the numbers on Steam were lackluster, but now we have an indication as to the sales of the game on the PS5 as well, and I'll just say this, it really is time for some schadenfreude.
Oh, that's too bad. We're so sorry.
Based on the data available to us from the site PSN Profiles, we can glean approximately how many people have purchased Dragon Age the Veilguard for the PS5, and those numbers are absolutely pathetic.
What a loser. Get a friend, loser.
The PS5 numbers are much worse than what we're seeing on Steam, and Xbox numbers for games are typically even lower than PlayStation. So, while I expect to hear an announcement soon from the game journalists celebrating Dragon Age the Veilguard selling 1 million copies in total, which might even happen today, there is likely a good reason that we haven't heard that announcement yet. They have been struggling to hit that milestone.
Hey, what's that you got on your face?
Huh?
Blah, blah, blah. See how that works?
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit that like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. The new members of the crew have been pouring in lately, so it is now time to ask the burning question.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo! We have now reached 80,000 subscribers. There are 80,000 space pirates in this space pirate crew, and the custom is on this channel that with every 1,000 subscribers we add a new ship to the fleet in order to house the newcomers. This time, one of you selected the Voyager from Star Trek, which can be seen cruising around near the back of the fleet here. If you have any suggestions for new ships, drop them into the comment section below and I will put them on my list. Super chats get bumped to the top of the list with other super chats, but in any event, thanks to everyone for being here.
I knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Anyhow, as I was saying before, Dragon Age the Veilguard has not had particularly good sales numbers thus far. Yesterday, we looked at evidence that a good chunk of refunds hit Bioware on Steam. They are struggling to even reach 500,000 sales on that platform, which is amazingly pathetic considering how well known and beloved the Dragon Age IP is. They could have just about drawn stick figures and posted them in a Dragon Age game, and as long as the story was still good, some people would have still played it. But they plastered their weird, progressive gender crap all over the place in the game. They made it for the modern audience, and regular people are rejecting it. And it doesn't help that the game is also reportedly boring as hell as an actual game. It sounds repetitive and clunky by all accounts. But in any event, they seem to be getting what is coming to them with the sales data thus far. This tweet here comes from Jay Viper, who lays out all the information for us for the PS5 sales. Big shout out to him for his good work. You should follow him on Twitter and sub to his YouTube channel. But anyhow, he wrote, referencing PSN profiles and their 806,000 registered and tracked PS5 users, only 2,959 users own the game. That puts total owners across PS5 owners around 225,600. Math in the reply. Players don't appear to be playing very long either, as 25% of owners haven't passed Act 2, which is 2 hours into the game. 225,000 is a massive underperformance. Is Bioware cooked? And first of all, I find it interesting that once again, we are seeing that the game has a very low retention rate. A quarter of the people who have played the game haven't even put 2 hours into the game. Something tells me that if these people had purchased the title on Steam, these would have turned into refunds. In point of fact, any of these folks who purchased physical copies are most likely people selling them to their local video game store now. I've heard rumblings of massive buybacks at some of these retail stores, but we will talk more about that later. Let's look at J Viper's math and see how he came up with that approximately 225,000 sales on the PS5, because if this is at all correct, it is very bad for Bioware. But J Viper wrote up his math here, saying approximately 61.5 million PS5s have sold worldwide. 806,601 PS5 users have created a PSN Profiles account. So basically, what he's doing here is extrapolating the percentage of people who are on PSN Profiles and applying that percentage to the total number of PS5s in the world. As he says at the bottom of the tweet, 225,000 isn't the exact number. It isn't going to be off by 500,000 either. It's somewhere close to that number. And I would note that this exact same method was used a couple months ago when Concord first came out. Internet sleuths used PSN Profiles to determine that Concord had only sold a few thousand copies on the platform. It was fairly spot on for that game, so there is no reason to think that this same method won't be at least somewhat accurate for Dragon Age the Veilguard. And as I said before, Xbox usually lags behind PlayStation in game sales. Over on Amazon, Dragon Age the Veilguard has dropped down to number 11 for the best-selling games on there, and as you can see, despite the fact that it came out 5 days ago, it is getting beaten by Space Marine 2, which is a 2-month-old game. That is not a good sign. So yeah, the game might not actually yet be at 1 million total sales. Over on Steam, the estimates are somewhere in the ballpark of 500,000 copies sold. If you add that together with our estimates for the PS5, we are somewhere in the ballpark of 725,000 copies. Xbox is most likely lagging behind PlayStation in terms of total sales of the game, so they are probably somewhere around 900,000 so far. And keep in mind, I estimate that at a bare minimum, based on the total development and marketing costs of the game, they likely need somewhere in the neighborhood of 4.5 million copies sold at full price with no discounts in order to break even on the game. At this rate, it's looking like there is no chance of that happening. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your Schadenfreude-fueled mockery of this game into the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.